nervous.
Get wet? Were you there on vacation?
We were there for work.
Oh boy, and I'll hold that. And
okay.
you got stuck.
Yeah.
And how difficult was it getting out?
Well, we got out luckily because we were just like you're talking about. We were waiting 5 hours to change a flight. We were going to be through JFK on Saturday, and then they tried to change us to. Originally it was Cairo, then it was Munich, then it was Munich on a different day. We waited 5 hours that day, and they said, "Oh, we can't change it because of zones." I ended up going to the front desk saying like, "Hey, we've been waiting for 5 hours. We just really want to go home." All the people we were working with, the staff we worked with, they all got back because of like their respective government. So.
But you're American.
Yeah, we were just the only 2 Americans that were on staff and in charge of the conference we were part of. That we were the only ones remaining. So we just got a number, and by some grace, they rebooked us for JFK, and that flight didn't get canceled.
Was today the first flight out to the U.S. as far as you know?
I'm pretty sure we got on the very first flight to the United States by somehow, because the flights after us got canceled because they started bombing the UAE again. So I think we got so lucky that it was just the first one.
How upsetting is this whole situation being there while this is unfolding?
Incredibly, and it feels like there's not anybody doing enough on our side here in the United States. It seems like Congress doesn't know what's going on, Americans don't know what's going on, and no one knows what's going on, and they're not really sending help, they're not sending charter flights or anything, so we're stuck fending for ourselves for 5 hours from 1 in the morning until 6 in the morning trying to get this done.
But to be clear, it's been days, right? Since Saturday?
Yeah.
Right. And did you hear bombs or missiles or drones going off?
Yeah, we saw them. It was about a daily occurrence that they would go off between 1 or 3 in the morning. You would go and just hide in your room, or they had like kind of a makeshift bomb shelter where we would just go into this underground parking garage and we would just hang out for 30 minutes to an hour until we were told it was safe.
Wow. What's your name?
My name's Evan.
Evan what?
Evan Rault.
R-H-A-U-L-T. And what kind of business were you there on?
We were, well, kind of
industry.
business. We were doing Model United Nations, so we were chairing a conference, judging a conference of mainly high schoolers and college students as well.
Right, wow.
This was like a school conference.
It wasn't through our school, but it was mostly like high schoolers and college students coming there to kind of learn about diplomacy.
Are you college students?
Yeah, we're both second years. I go to University of Connecticut.
Wow, diplomacy. So you're studying diplomacy and you get stuck in the middle of a war.
Yeah, essentially it's like all of the problems that we've been working to solve. We started doing Model UN in high school. All the problems we've been working to solve are all of a sudden right in front of our face, and they're avoiding all of the things that we try and teach these young people.
And I just want to go back to your friends. You were also there for this same conference.
Yeah, I was his co-chair, and
okay. And what do you think of being stuck in a war zone when you guys are studying diplomacy?
Yeah, the irony would have been a bit funny if I weren't, experiencing it at the time. It was insane. It was kind of unfortunately everyone had to kind of figure out their own retrospective and their own, plan to get out. As we contacted, plenty of offices in the United States, and we're given really the instruction of just like take your first available commercial flight, and then that was the advice everyone was given. So everyone was trying to get a commercial flight at the same time. So it was just chaotic at all ends.
What do you think about the U.S. government, how they handle this situation with folks like yourself trapped over there?
From a perspective as a student, we reached out to a lot of just Senate and then representative offices as well. It seemed there were like organizationally just wasn't really a plan. I even had to reach out to just random military contacts I was aware of, and just we made a GoFundMe. We tried to spread out. We were speaking with other news stations prior just to get a message out, because there was no plan for repatriation. We saw 200 Italian delegates get repatriated on a flight almost immediately after the issue, and because we were United States citizens, we couldn't repatriate with them despite being on staff. So all other countries were immediately, getting plans, getting planes in, where we were just kind of told, like, get a commercial flight and, stay safe.
What's your first and last name? Can you spell it for me?
My first name's Ryan, and my last name's Rivera Cabrera.
Where are you from?
I was born in Puerto Rico.
But I mean, where do you live now?
Right now, I live in Woodstock with him, and I go to school in Boston, Northeastern.
Woodstock, Connecticut.
Woodstock, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Can I
just want
What's
you
your
to
name again?
Yeah, of course.
Ryan? Or Ryan?
Rivera.
Rivera.
Cabrera.
Sorry, Cabera.
Sorry, Cabrera.
And your name again? Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
You were just on vacation?
Yep.
And
Visiting
how
some
long
friends.
did you get stuck there? I mean, since Saturday?
We were supposed to come back Sunday, and we tried to reschedule about 3 or 4 times. And finally, we took a car over to Oman, and then from Oman we went to Muscat, and Muscat to Istanbul, and Istanbul here.
How,
a little crazy.
Yeah, well, a couple of questions. How frightening was it, and how alarming really was it to be stuck in a ward?
Well, it's not usual to have missiles intercepted above your head, but it was, honestly, it was not bad. We were in the marina, so a lot of stuff was going down to Abu Dhabi, and so we saw a lot of the missiles coming across Dubai, going there, but they were being intercepted.
How difficult was it to get a flight out here?
Impossible. Yeah, they were all, especially coming to here, you had to hop somewhere else.
Do you feel like our government should have warned Americans or given you a little
It would have been nicer if he'd have held off 2 days, so I could have taken my original flight back, of course, but I mean, it's tough to do communication. I know what their tactic was. I know there was that meeting, they wanted to make sure they hit it. You can't give that type of warning out if you want to have that attack, so. But I'm just grateful that, you know, we're live. And luckily it wasn't too bad in Dubai, but I'm sure some other places were horrible.
But you actually heard missiles intercepted over
Oh yeah, oh absolutely.
At your hotel?
Yeah, I had some pictures, and I even have one video at nighttime going right past the Dubai Eye. It was right behind it, and you can see it explode. It was, yeah.
Is that on your social?
I'll put it on there, yeah.
Well, can you just share it with me?
Yeah, I can share it with you,
okay,
sure.
Thank you. And your name, please?
Charles.
Charles what?
Low, L-O-W.
And you were there, I'm sorry, on pleasure or business?
A pleasure, yeah. Visiting friends.
And you're from where in New Jersey?
I'm on the west side of Jersey, out by like Clinton area.
I'm going to just give you my card if
Yeah.
you don't mind.
Sorry, I'm with New York One. I kind of missed. Could you just give me a quick synopsis?
Attack the United States near where we are, and we are not able to fly nowhere right now, and we got nothing else still. Like they were just left there. Like it was devastating. It was the worst sensation feeling ever, knowing that my son was just exactly in the middle of a war zone with no adult, with no one that I could just contact or make sure that he was safe, that he was okay. It was awful, the worst. The worst experience.
And what was it like trying to get him out?
Well, we reached out to so many offices. We did a social media post so as many people could help us find someone or somebody from the government agency, anyone that was willing to do something concrete, not just tell us fill this form, call this number, and like they wouldn't have you on a list, on a waiting list. That was unacceptable. We needed like some assurance that they were gonna be fine. We'll have them back as soon as possible.
And what was your biggest fear as a mom?
My biggest fear is like they were just in like war zone, that hotels were being attacked. Dubai, it was supposed to be a peace zone. We never understood what Dubai was like. One of the biggest hotels in Dubai, business wise, was attacked. He got a missile. So once I heard that news, I couldn't handle the situation, knowing that it was being targeted areas where tourists were there, basically areas where like American citizens were. The fact that other countries immediately have their citizens separation and American citizens left there, it was like awful, knowing that we didn't have our government backing up their own citizens.
All right, and I see the balloons. You brought that for your son. What was it like reuniting with him?
Oh, the whole sensation. It was amazing. It was like my working back. Like just
What's your name?
Kathy? And where you guys live? And which side?
Worcester, Connecticut.
And your son's name?
Ryan Rivera Cabrera.
Thank you.
What's your name?
David Cisneros.
And can you spell the last name, please?
Cisneros. What is your name, sir? David. David? Yeah.
And Neros.
Neros.
And David, just tell me, how long were you trying to get out of Dubai? How long did it take you to get back?
I think we were the starters of this one. We got there on the 28th. We got 24 hours to stop, and then we were trying to get out March 1st. It got canceled. March 4th got canceled. 5th got canceled. 6th got canceled. And then we heard about the charter flights, because commercial flights aren't running. So we actually had to run our plays through the first line, because Emirates was trying to avoid crowds in the airport. The only way to get you in is through a reservation.
So you got a charter flight?
We got in a charter. This was a charter flight.
How did you have to pay for
Give me
it?
one.
Whatever the birthday one, we're trying to leave every day. Like, hopefully I have a great car.
Can you just tell me how it feels to be home?
And we weren't sure when we were going to get back, and so being back home feels really good.
And you have a baby.
Yeah, we were traveling with a 6-month-old, so it was really stressful, but I feel like we're back, so we can't think about the past anymore. It's just good to be back home.
Can I get your name?
It's Sweeta Patel.
S-W-E-T-A. Patel. Thank you so much.
Wait, I'm sorry, I don't mean to hold you much longer. Can I just ask you about what you saw over there? And did you see anything?
Honestly, we were just, I think the first day we didn't see as much as we heard. And then the first night we got kind of a text from the UAE government that was like to seek shelter. And we were staying at a hotel, so we called the lobby and they were like, hey, don't worry, we have like a car park that we can go into if needed. But that is not necessary right now. So you just hear like a few fighter jets and things like that going on. I guess we were a little bit further away from the action to see like the things that were actually hitting, but otherwise it was okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So you didn't see any interceptions, anything like that? Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Feeling how was it, for you to get through here?
I was very scared when I was in the country, not because it was dangerous while I was there. I think everything was kept calm and orderly, but I knew that I wanted to come home, and I was afraid of what might happen. It was the uncertainty that was very scary to me, and so I did everything I could to get home.
And how did you get to this flight? It was like a miracle?
You know, I was as proactive as I could have been. I tried calling, like using every online resource, every use my credit card. I booked this flight through Amex, actually, so I was able to get on a flight. I booked multiple, hoping that one of them would land. So,
were you you saw a strike or
nothing like that? No. I mean, again, I think the Amex government did a really good job of shipping us.
And what's the feeling that you have right now once you landed?
I cried. Yeah. As soon as I landed, yeah. It's true.
Your name and last name?
My name is Sarah Cantaria.
Sarah Cantaria. Thank you so much,
You're very
Sarah.
welcome.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Alrighty. It was. Probably. I think they've been flying more military flights to like London or EU and Asia, but I didn't see any other American flights.
And last question, I promise, or two more. Did you see evidence of the war? Did you hear bombs? Did you see anything?
I think at one point I might have seen smoke, but I'm not really sure.
Was it frightening?
It was very, honestly, the alerts were the most frightening part. I do think that the government had done a really good job of shielding the citizens from like the danger of that situation. I think probably of the Gulf countries, I was very happy to be in the Emirates there.
You were getting alerts on your phone?
Correct.
Just like
shelter in place.
Shelter in place.
Or yeah, like find go inside and shelter in place.
And Sarah, last question. Are you upset that our government did this without any notice to travelers like yourself?
I wish there was more guidance and just a little bit more support. I will say that calling the State Department wasn't terribly useful, but I mean, I really don't care to comment too much more.
Okay, thank you, hon.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're back home
Thank
safe.
you.
I'm going to grab
Of
this
course,
for
yeah.
you. Okay, thank you for doing that.
Sure thing.
I hope you don't have to stand outside.
No, you just got home.
It's
and
okay.
everything. Can I ask you what it was like being in Dubai? What happened? What you saw?
Actually,
it's
we
fine.
we lived there. We've lived there for 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. It's we felt really safe.
Okay.
Yeah. Dubai's a really safe place. The government really has everything under control. They're really looking out for the people. But we just want to be home with Nana and Papa. We have our 2 kids, so we just felt a bit like we needed to be home during this time. And the U.S. actually
the U.S. told us to evacuate, which is kind of why we left. But it really, if you watch like Chris Fade, watch Dubai, what is it, Dubai Media? ARN, yeah, ARN. Everything they're reporting, life's like really, really normal. Of course, you do hear what's going on in the background, but we have a lot of friends still there. They all feel really safe, regardless of what's going on. But we're here because we want to be with Nana and Papa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a bit about what it was like getting a flight out of the airport?
Yeah, we were just lucky because there was actually no flights. All the flights were canceled, or all the flights were suspended for a few days. Then the U.S. told us that we needed to evacuate, so we just went on to Emirates and we saw that there was one flight leaving to go to New York City at 2 a.m. on Thursday.
But
so we just
flight is delayed.
but we just booked it, and then it ended up being the only flight. All the rest of them were canceled. There were other flights to the U.S., but then that was the only one that went ahead. So but a lot of our other friends who have flights to leave have all been canceled. So I think they're only operating like 40 an hour, but then they just released that they're going to do like more and more. So people are getting out now. But yeah, we were lucky because a lot of our friends have gotten like canceled. But they're like really like working on like getting it rescheduled again. So we were lucky. We just booked one and we were able to go.
Wonderful. When you trying to book the flight, were you making calls to the State Department or anything? Or you just went straight to the airport?
I signed up for a STEP program. They told us to take a commercial flight. We booked the commercial flight. Then they also emailed us to say that do we need help evacuating? So I didn't know if our flight was going to get canceled, so I said, yes, we need help evacuating. And then actually right before our flight went off, the State Department messaged us asking for his details because he has just become a green card holder. But before he landed today, he wasn't a green card holder. So I couldn't put his information in, so they were asking for his information so that they could help evacuate him as well. But I told them we already have a commercial flight, so we don't need to be evacuated. But they seemed to be on it as far as like helping people evacuate as well. But I just I recommend people sign up for the program so that they can be in touch.
Okay. Yeah. And how does it feel to just be home now and just like land on?
It feels good. Honestly, we always felt safe in Dubai. I feel like regardless of what was going on in Dubai with the entire situation, I kind of feel safer there than I ever do like just waiting for a coffee here at JFK. Like it's really safe. But it feels good to be with Ned and Papa. I think that's the thing is like when the world's going crazy, you just want to be with family. So that was the main reason. But for sure, if our family wasn't here, we probably would have stayed in Dubai because we did feel safe and protected by the government. The leaders there, it's like palpable. You feel that the leaders are doing everything they can just to protect the people. You feel it. We were there during COVID too, so we felt it during COVID that every decision that the UAE leaders are making, Sheikh Mohammed, everyone, they're protecting the people. So you feel safe being there even when the craziest stuff is happening.
Okay. Yeah. And that's what I wanted to ask you was like the whole war kicks off, the bombing and everything. When you woke up to that, what was your reaction?
I was actually at the pool with my son and our friends. We were just at the pool. We didn't hear it because we live a bit far in the desert, so we didn't hear it. The government notified us right away. The UAE government notified us. They said to remain calm, so we did. We then did hear something in the distance, but once again, we immediately got notified by the UAE government. They said, just remain calm, go inside. And then from then, we really, actually, it was like 2 or 3 days, we were just getting notifications like that. We were very calm. We just stayed inside. They kept updating us. We didn't hear much or see anything because we were a bit out of the city. But everything that happened, we were getting updated. The only time I really panicked was then when the US government messaged us to evacuate. Then I realized, oh, maybe we need to leave. So that was the only time I started to feel a bit panicked. But other than that, everything that kept happening, the UAE government really just kept updating us properly and made us feel safe and secure. And you could go out on the street and really feel like everything was fine. Normal, yeah, everything's up and running. I was ordering coffees. Delivery drivers were coming and delivering as per usual, like
work normally.
Normal work. Yeah, we weren't working because we work at they were telling us we don't have to come into the office, so we were just staying at home. But people were working. like normal. So.
Do you feel at any point that was like, that just felt surreal? Like,
Not really. I think it just kind of reminded us of COVID because we were there during COVID as well when like things had to shut down. So we were used to that as well with the government before just telling us like, you know, stay inside, follow the rules, you're safe. So it kind of just felt the same as last time. Yeah.
And sorry, I'm late.
That's okay.
And so you guys are American living in Dubai.
Yeah, so I'm American, and then my husband actually just became an American citizen, not citizen, green card holder. So yeah, but we've lived there for the past 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And we have our sons too. We have our two sons who were born in Dubai.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we've been there for 10 years.
Wow. So, and I heard you saying how calm it was, and you were outside. So, how far outside from the bombing were you?
Like an hour and a half.
Hour and a half. You said?
No, but yeah, where you saw like a lot of the news stories, I guess, like they were saying that something happened on the Palm. They were saying something happened in the Burj. As it was like being reported to us, that was like not. It wasn't an attack. It was like fallout from them. The debris. So from that, we're like a half-hour drive from there.
Okay.
So again, like we didn't hear any. Well, I heard something in the distance of them being intercepted. It didn't really. Like I said, we heard like it's like a little thunder far away of the interception, and then we didn't feel panicked and like got the notifications on our phone right away. Hi, that was the UAE government intercepting something. Don't like stay inside. Don't be panicked.
Was it hard to catch a flight out of Dubai to America?
We're just saying a lot of the flights were being canceled. We just, as soon as the U.S. government said you should evacuate, we just went on to Emirates, and there was one flight the next day, and we booked it. And luckily, because that was like the only, all the other ones, we had friends who had booked things to U.S. or Australia or anywhere, and they were getting canceled and delayed. Luckily, ours, the first one we booked, just we were able to take, so we were lucky with that. But yeah, I think they're operating like a limited number per hour going out of the airports there.
Got it. The easiest question. Can you tell me your first and last name, spell it for me?
Julia and Ripple. Julia and then Ripple.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Jonathan Granaderos. Granaderos.
Okay. And then two baby boys, right?
Yeah.
One. Where's the other? In the stroller?
And Houston, Lucerne, and Harry.
Oh, he's baby.
Yeah, baby.
Is it okay that he kind of...
He can come.
And what's his name?
What's your name?
Nathan?
Houston. I will show you his shirt. He's wearing... Show him your shirt. It's the UAE military, so we're very thankful because we felt very safe and protected by them. Yeah. We really love Dubai. We really feel like they do such an incredible job protecting their citizens, and it's home for us. So we hope everything's fine, but we have full confidence that they're gonna keep their citizens safe, keep their people safe for sure. That's the leaders there. That's their number one priority is keeping everyone safe.
And where here are you?
Where's your brother?
Where'd you grow up?
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah, Nana Papa.
Hi, Nana Papa. Central.
Central. Yeah, Central Jersey.
Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Aberdeen.
Oh, Aberdeen. Got it.
Manawan.
Yep.
Whoa.
Okay.
So I was just saying that's why I was saying before to sorry, what's your name? I was saying.
oh, my name's Dakota.
Yeah, I was saying to Dakota, like, we did feel really safe in Dubai regardless of what was happening, but this is the reason we're home. We want to be, it's crazy times, so we want to be with our family. But for sure, if they weren't here, and my sister's back there too, don't forget Jackie. But if they weren't here, we would have been comfortable staying in Dubai because we felt protected there.
You'll probably get a shot, baby. Well, you guys as a family. Nathan, with you.
Yes, say cheese. Cheese. Smile.
Say Bluey.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
experience living abroad. There was no circumstance that we ever thought that our government would make these kinds of decisions in a dangerous way to not just endanger Americans, but the entire expat communities across the region that we have been working so hard to build. There was absolutely zero plan for evacuation for anyone. The phone numbers are a joke. They're saying that they're getting between like 8 and 20,000 people out of the country. That's a lie. I am very close with airlines and with a lot of expat communities on WhatsApp, and everybody is stuck and afraid.
Tell me where you live.
So I live between New York, Philly, and Dubai. But my family, I just picked up 9 family members that have been living in the region for the past 20 years.
I was going to say, so you're here picking up family, but you're not
With
coming?
the irony is, I have never parked at JFK before in my whole entire life.
What's your first name?
I'm Jenna Arnold.
Okay, and what part of the city do you live?
Chelsea.
But Jenna, you're not coming from Dubai right
now? I'm
but you
picking
do
up 10
live
family
in
members.
Got
I
it.
spend a
Thank
lot
you.
of time in Dubai.
Thank
Dubai
you.
is a second home for us.
Thank you.
And we still stand with the country and what it's trying to be as a melting pot for the world in general. And I'm so embarrassed and ashamed that my country made these decisions.
What was your name again?
Jenna Arnold, Jenna-Arnold.
Thank
Jenna,
you.
quick question. I'm sorry. So you're waiting for them now, or they're
No,
here
I just
already?
picked them up. I'm
They're
schlepping
here.
their stuff. I have to go load them in the car.
Okay, what was it like seeing them and knowing that they were back safely?
Well, it's a mixture of things. Guilt and fury are probably the two feelings. Fury that they're in this situation, and guilty that we couldn't help more people.
The families you were picking up, they're with you, or how do you know
They're
them?
my parents, they're my brother, my sister-in-law, their 2 kids, my sister-in-law's parents. I still have cousins stuck in the region.
Really, currently?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
It's infuriating.
Thank you so much. And your last name?
Arnold, A-R-N-O-L.
Thank you.
To be scary, but it was pretty normal. Like during the day, people are walking outside, like having dinner.
And did you feel that our government, you're American, should have given Americans some notice? Maybe?
I wish they did. I wouldn't have gone, right? I would have just, canceled the trip or like came straight home earlier. Right? So I wish there was something like that.
What's your perception of everything that's happening?
I actually gotta head out. If
Okay.
it's okay. Sorry.
Just your 6-month-old.
Your name? Ayush Patel. Whatever the birthday was, I'm trying to leave every day if I can. Hopefully I don't have a great car.
Y aunque no haya visto nada, la pregunta es si se asustó y obviamente todo esto.
Bueno, desde luego que estuvimos estresados porque estábamos recibiendo información del exterior, que nos mantuviéramos en el hotel, que no saliéramos para nada. Incluso la Secretaría de Relaciones Exteriores también
Venga, camine conmigo.
pedía que no saliéramos. Pero pues era un enfado estar en el hotel y veíamos tranquilos la ciudad y salíamos.
Claro.
Salimos de paseo por la ciudad, la Dubái antigua, y pasamos por el hotel Pipeline, que según eso fue quemado, y pues no, en realidad estaba todo en paz.
¿Y cómo se sintió de haber sido?
Bueno,
o sea, qué miedo estar donde se realizó una guerra.
efectivamente, y lo peor es que teníamos reservación para regresarnos el día primero y se canceló el viaje. Entonces, las noticias de las hostilidades continuaban y pues nosotros queríamos salir de Dubái y hicimos reservación para un día más, un poquito más para acá, y posteriormente también se canceló ese.
Le ayudo yo con su maleta.
Es que no sabe presumir mi maleta.
Es que caminamos para allá porque está el de seguridad. Tiene que estar ahí donde está el chico de amarillo. Perdón.
¿Y cómo consiguió este vuelo?
Bueno, ayer ya desesperados, a mi hijo se le ocurrió que fuéramos al aeropuerto, sin reservaciones ni nada. y a hacer fila, como en los camiones de segunda.
¿Sí quieres seguimos caminando?
Sí, cómo no. Entonces nos anotamos ahí a un vuelo que fuera a Inglaterra, a donde fuera. Y nos tocó el de Nueva York, teníamos que estar en fila para ver si no llegaba todo el pasaje, porque estaba supuestamente revendido todo. Y sí nos trajeron.
¿Y qué se sintió despegar?
No, bueno, pues es que aunque no vimos nada ni escuchamos nada, sabíamos que no teníamos otra más que salir a como diera lugar. Porque tarde o temprano podría, Dubái es un blanco, pero facilito para mandar misiles, pero no vimos nada.
Y cuando aterriza, ¿sintió alivio? Cuéntenos qué fue aterrizar, ¿cómo se sintió?
Bueno, desde que nos subimos al avión fue un gran alivio. Pero ya pensamos que el alivio total iba a ser hasta que se porque,
¿aquí dónde está la prensa?
Porque al parecer los aviones vuelos a Estados Unidos no estaban saliendo.
Claro.
Y nuestro vuelo era Houston y luego Ciudad de México. Y no fue así. Tuvimos que tomar el primer vuelo que nos sacara de Dubái. De eso se trataba. Y bueno, pues fue un gran alivio.
¿Estaban de vacaciones?
Mi hijo estaba de trabajo y yo me uní a él días después. Entonces ya se terminó él los días de estar en su empresa y nos fuimos a hacer turismo por la India. De la India nos fuimos a Dubái y al día siguiente tronó la bomba.
¿Qué pensó cuando escuchó las noticias de que explotó todo en Irán?
Casualmente empezamos a recibir noticias de acá de México en el WhatsApp. Cuando andábamos en el edificio alto que es ¿cómo se llama? ¿Califa?
Burj Khalifa.
Estábamos en el piso 124 y teníamos a la vista toda la ciudad. Y estábamos viendo que había ataques ahí cerca de la torre esa. Pues ¿qué está pasando? No era verdad. Nosotros lo vimos, no era verdad.
¿En algún momento cuántos días estuvo en Dubái?
Del 28, 29, 30, 28, 1, 2, 3, 4.
¿Llegó a escuchar las sirenas antibombas? ¿Llegó a ver nada?
Pero sí vio desde el edificio donde se encontraba.
Ahí estuvimos, ahí nos quedamos a cenar. Ahí vimos que no había nada. Y al día siguiente o a los 2 días pasaron un video en donde se andaba paseando por ahí el señor Khalifa, que es el hombre más rico de allá, y se ve que anda ahí con su gente. Sería ese video de ese día, o quién sabe, ¿verdad? O sea, él andaba ahí diciendo que todo estaba bien.
¿Se preocupó en algún momento de que no iba a poder salir?
Claro, sí, es que hasta pensamos salir en barco o en rentar un carro, rentar un charter o cualquier medio de salir.
Ahora, hubo informes de que el gobierno de allá iba a pagar ciertos gastos. ¿Ustedes no les pagaban nada de los días extra?
No nos pagaron. No nos pagaron. Nosotros pagamos el hotel y alimentos y todo.
¿Que le costó carito?
No, eso no muy caro, porque no llegamos también a hoteles de 5 estrellas, ¿verdad? Pero no era costoso, no estaba.
Cuando aterrizó aquí en JFK Kennedy, ¿qué sintió?
Pues un gran alivio.
¿Un gran alivio tranquilo?
Sí. Sí, cómo no.
¿Cómo se llama?
Porfirio Cisneros.
Can you spell that? El apellido.
Cisneros.
Cisneros. ¿Habla inglés?
Muy poco.
Yeah.